first warm-up sound check.
What language do they speak in England?
English. What? Dutch.
Stand, you know?
No, I said it ironic. Hollandaise. I said it ironic.
Spirit fingers. Too much spirit fingers. You don't know the reference. What do you got, Camino? You good? Little Brash, you good? Camino? Camino, here we go. Cut time. Boom, 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 boom. All set, tubas? Here we go. Cut time. Shoot. Ready. We'll bring out a second sheet now. Talking to myself.
I hear you, Mr.
Thank you. Jeannie? I mean,
Yeah, you're right. It's just like not worth it. No, not at all.
you all set, Jeannie? Sharp. Slow. Set. Jeannie. Twice through. Count three. 1, 2, 3.
just like
Oh, and then just like stopped. I mean, started. Not stopped.
You see them walking down?
Yeah, imagine that.
Oh, they came from there. Besides that. Okay.
Here they come.
Okay, so maybe he.
Okay, folks, here we go. Ready? Smile, look in. No one's looking. Get a look. Come on, thumbs up.
No love for the clarinet.
Sabrina. Say hi to Anya.
It's okay.
Wait, you want to say hi too?
I'll say hi. You say hi.
Anya?
Who's on your friend?
My friend.
Oh, your friend. Okay. You go to Portsmouth?
Can I say hi to all?
America the Beautiful. America the Beautiful.
Guys, don't look at it directly.
Okay, here we go. America the Beautiful. America the Beautiful. Count three. 1, 2, 3. Remember, 60, look up here. This needs to go back to 5. Remember, this for ascending, go back to 60. Everybody got it? This goes back to 5 after the first ascending. This goes back to 60 after the ascending.
saw him at the spring fling. I saw him at.
High School Class of 2025 commencement ceremony. If I could ask everyone to please rise, I'm going to invite our senior class secretary, Caitlin Mediate, to the stage to lead us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by our national anthem.
Good evening and welcome to the Portsmouth High School Class of 2025 commencement ceremony. My name is Caitlin Mediate, and it has been my honor to serve as your secretary for the Class of 2025 for the past 3 years. To begin tonight's ceremony, I ask that you please rise, remove any headwear besides the graduates, and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please remain standing for our country's national anthem, which will be sung by our talented classmate who will be attending Berklee College of Music in the fall, our very own Aaliyah Turner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. That our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wow. Graduates, you may be seated. Everybody else may be as well. Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dr. Jeffrey Heath, and I'm the proud principal of Portsmouth High School. It is my great honor and privilege to welcome you all to our graduation ceremony for the class of 2025. Before we begin, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome our honored guests. Portsmouth School Committee Chair, Dr. Emily Copeland, Portsmouth School Committee Vice Chair, Fred Farber, Portsmouth School Committee Member, Jack Delahunty, Portsmouth School Committee Member, Brett Fox, Portsmouth School Committee Member, Isabel Kelly, Portsmouth School Committee Member, Karen McDade, Portsmouth School Committee Member, Emily Skian, Little Compton School Committee Secretary, Susan Chase, Little Compton School Committee Member, Michael Rocha, the Superintendent of Portsmouth Public Schools, Dr. Thomas Kenworthy, the Superintendent of Little Compton Public Schools, Dr. Lori Dias Mitchell, our Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Elizabeth Faveras, Portsmouth Town Council member Sandra Blank, Portsmouth Town Council member Juan Carlos Paero, the Hathaway Elementary School principal Mrs. Lisa Little, Melville Elementary School principal Danielle Laurie, Portsmouth Middle School principal Dr. Jay Masterson, Wilbur McMahon School principal Jack McKinnon, and the Rhode Island State Representative Michelle McGraw. Thank you all for attending this afternoon's exercises. It's a special class, so diplomas will be shorter than that, so it's good. In my second year as principal here at this fine institution, I was curious to see how this year would unfold on the tail end of what I'd considered to be an exciting and successful first year. If last year was a success, this superseded even my wildest expectations. Class of 2025, what you've collectively achieved as a class in the name of Portsmouth High School's community is truly remarkable. In just the past year, you've single-handedly revived the unparalleled tradition of excellence that's come to define our school. You've raised the academic bar by challenging yourselves collectively with a more rigorous course load than nearly any other class that's come before you. This is best evidenced by the idea that 97 of you sat for a collective total of 206 advanced placement exams across 18 different subject areas. Those numbers ranked as some of the highest all time at Portsmouth High School. Your energy, enthusiasm, and love of life have been a defining feature of your class, as demonstrated this past fall when you nearly brought the fieldhouse roof down at our raucous pep rally. And whether it was by your doing or some higher power, you also brought the roof down on the main building, which by all measures is quite an accomplishment. Speaking of athletics and enthusiasm, how about this crop of student athletes? If I can take just a minute to please review some of the successes. In the fall, we began with a trip to the Division I football semifinals. Our boys soccer team reached the Division I quarterfinals. Girls soccer reached the Division II quarterfinals. Our boys cross country qualified for New England's for the first time ever. And our senior runners ran away with most of the state. Our girls volleyball team also finished as the Division I state runners-up in one of the best volleyball matches I've personally ever seen. In the winter, successes continued with our boys basketball team making it to the quarterfinals of the Division I championships and achieved Elite 8 berth in the state tournament. Girls basketball celebrated a Division I quarterfinals appearance and made it to the Final Four in the state tournament. Gymnastics continued their winning tradition and finished as the state runners-up, with 7 athletes qualifying for Rhode Island State Gymnastic Championships. This year, competition cheer joined the party and also had a great showing, finishing second at both the divisionals and the RICA competition. Zoe Hadley also finished first team All-State. In the pool, 3 senior swimmers made states and subsequently medaled in events. Indoor track and field, we had 2 students medal in their respective events, and not to be outdone, the boys hockey team made it to the Division II finals for the 3rd year in a row. And finally, this spring, our softball team made a deep run into the penultimate game of the Division II playoffs. Golf won the Division II title. Sailing won the state title. Girls lacrosse made it to the Division I state semifinals, and your unified basketball team won their division championship. The list doesn't even end there because boys lacrosse is set to play in the Division II state championship tomorrow at Brown. Boys volleyball plays Division III state championship tomorrow at Rick. And both boys and girls outdoor track and field are poised for excellent showings at tomorrow's real state championship meet. Also shout out to Rowan Snyder, who broke the school record in pole vault just 2 weeks ago. You even had Chris Vachon finish the Boston Marathon, but not only did he finish the race, Chris finished in the top 2% of marathon participants in the world. Tell me that's not impressive. I doubt that I could beat Chris in a race, but if you put a cheeseburger and a Coke at the finish line in a winner-take-all sprint, I'd like to think I have a shot. For a medium-sized public high school, that level of success is mind-boggling and something that all of our student athletes and supporters should be extremely proud of. But the celebrations don't stop with athletics. Your band and choral programs receive numerous superior ratings on both individual and collective levels. You've hosted amazing productions of Salvage Squad, The Wizard of Oz, and Sister Act this past year. You shined at our first ever summer job fair and celebrated a senior week for ages. You've spearheaded numerous charitable efforts, including clothing drives, canned food drives, and international fundraising. You've rocked a senior prom at Wyndham and took home over $450,000 worth of scholarship money at, once again, one of the most successful senior scholarship and award nights in the history of our school. Today is truly a celebration of your accomplishments. I firmly believe that the most impressive individual accomplishments can almost always be attributed to the collective efforts of our support systems, mentors, friends, and families. With that in mind, I would like to ask the graduates to join me in delivering a message of thanks to the following individuals. First, thank you to all of our incredible teachers for their dedication, passion, and commitment. Thank you to all of the families and community members for your unwavering support and steadfast engagement in your children's education. And most importantly, I want you to thank each other. The shared experiences, friendships, and memories that you've developed throughout your time at Portsmouth High will be something that you'll cherish for decades to come. After today, you'll head in your different directions. However, you'll always share the common bond established by graduating as the class of 2025. I'd also take a moment to recognize the members of this year's graduating class that will be leaving the Portsmouth halls to enter careers in military service. If these students could please stand for a moment at their seats as we recognize and thank them for their honor, courage, and commitment to serving our country. Thank you. Graduation is also a time to honor transitions. With that in mind, I would kindly ask that you please join me in honoring two members of our PHS community who will be transitioning into retirement at the close of the school year. Please join me in thanking Ms. Mary Kate O'Keefe for her 35 years of service, Ms. Danny Grace for her 35 years of service, and Mrs. Marilyn Thompson for her 36 years of service here in Portsmouth. Unfortunately, Marilyn was not able to attend this evening's ceremony, and I'm not sure that I saw Miss Grace either. If she's here, though, I would love to have her up to the podium, and if Miss Mary Kate O'Keefe could please come up as well, I'd appreciate it to receive a bouquet of flowers. Speaking on behalf of the administration and faculty here at Portsmouth High School, you'll be sorely missed. Thank you for all that you've done for our school, Ms. O'Keefe. At this time, it's my pleasure to welcome the Portsmouth Public Schools chairperson, Dr. Emily Copeland, to the podium to share greetings on behalf of the Portsmouth School Committee.
Hi, good evening, everyone. After that impressive list of accomplishments, maybe we just don't graduate them and you guys could stay and come back again next year? We good? No, but as the chair of the Portsmouth School Committee and on behalf of my Portsmouth and Little Compton School Committee colleagues here tonight, congratulations to the graduating class of 2025. Many thanks to Dr. Heath, the administrative team here at the high school, the 2025 awesome class advisor, Ms. Monica Taft, and many thanks to those who took the time to set the stage, play in the band and the choir to really make this a festive occasion for all. For those of you new to Portsmouth High School graduation ceremonies, you may be wondering, why is it the chair of school committee giving remarks? Well, as I've said in the past, I'm a stand-in for community. While the main focus of the celebration today is you graduates, your accomplishments, the hard work you've put in to get to this moment, it's also worth it, as Dr. Heath just said, to recognize all the support you've had along the way, teachers, family, friends, and the broader community. As I was painting our garden fence on Wednesday, I was also thinking about what remarks I would give today. 10 years ago, my youngest son graduated from Portsmouth. My oldest son, who graduated 11 years ago, is getting ready for a wedding here in a couple of weeks. And that got me thinking about the many graduation ceremonies I've attended and how the pressure is on to find the right thing to say in a very brief, under 4 minutes, period of time. So for a moment I thought, why not skip the advice, tell a couple of graduation jokes, wish everyone congratulations, and be done? I will tell a couple of jokes at the end, very lame ones, but I still can't resist the opportunity to say a few words. However, good advice takes time, and did I mention I started on these remarks 2 days ago? So I thought, why not ask the graduate from 10 years ago for some advice? What advice does he remember during his 12 years in the Portsmouth district that stuck with him? And what he said really goes to the theme of community. He notes, of course, that there were definitive learning moments, but even more important was how the teachers made him feel, supported, empowered, and valued. So here are a couple of shout-outs and advice that he remembers. First, he mentioned Ms. Jana Donahue, then Ms. Lolly, a math teacher at PMS. During a particularly difficult math problem, she told the class that no matter how smart you are, everyone is going to hit a wall eventually. And at that point, she noted, one just can't get by on innate ability to blow past it. Now, here's the part that really stuck with him. For she stressed, what matters is what happens when you hit the wall. She encouraged everyone not to get discouraged, but to embrace the challenge and work to get past it. And she noted, you don't have to do it alone. That's the theme, I think, today. There are friends, classmates, family, teachers, others to support you. He also gave a shout out to Mrs. Perry, one of your teachers perhaps, for both setting high expectations and at the same time stressing how wonderful you students are. He realizes that his time in Portsmouth gave him an important foundation and one that taught him the importance of a good community. Hopefully, you have all found warm support, good friends, the grounding that it takes hard work to achieve results, acts of kindness, and the creative space in which you hopefully discovered what it is that you really enjoy, even despite the hard work. This foundation should help propel your success in the next chapter of your journey. And just remember, you don't have to do it alone. Seek out a supportive community. Now to the promised graduation jokes shamelessly taken from the internet. They're pretty bad, but they were better than most. So comedian Ellen DeGeneres gave some good advice. She said, follow your passion, stay true to yourself, never follow someone else's path unless you're in the woods and you're lost, and if you see a path, then by all means you should follow that path. And in closing, paraphrasing the words of Stephen Colbert, congratulations to you, graduates, class of 25. You did it. You look amazing. Even though it's a little embarrassing, you all showed up in the same outfit except the front row. So really, on behalf of the Portsmouth school community, we are incredibly proud of each and every one of you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Copeland, for your insight and leadership. Now please join me in welcoming our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Thomas Kenworthy, to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Heath. I was happy to see that I would be speaking at the front of the program because I assumed there would be some roof jokes this evening, and Dr. Heath got one in there before me, of course. So thank you, and it is my pleasure to be here tonight with all of our guests, and most importantly, with the Portsmouth High School class of 2025. Congratulations. I have greatly enjoyed watching you grow and mature over the years and celebrating in your accomplishments, whether in the classroom, on the stage, or in various athletic venues. You have reached an important milestone as you sit here tonight, ready to enter the next phase of your life. And wherever that journey takes you, you will carry with you the memories and lessons that you have learned over the past 13 years. And I hope that they are mostly happy ones. But there will be plenty of new memories and lessons, particularly over the next decade of your life, that will help to shape your future selves. And shortly after I sat where you are tonight, I made a decision that would profoundly impact my life for the next few decades. And now for the record, I am not advocating that any of you do what I am about to tell you. I wanted to be clear with your parents. As I began my freshman year in college, I committed to joining the United States Marine Corps, but I didn't tell my parents right away. That part wasn't good. You see, there was a lot of pressure on me as I had the opportunity to be the first in my family to graduate from college. And I was the baby, the youngest of my siblings, so this was very important to my parents. But there is also a strong military tradition in my family, and I was definitely feeling that as well. In conversations I had with my parents as I was planning my future, we had agreed that I would finish college first, and then if I still wanted to join the military, I could do so then. But I had turned 18, of course, and could make my own decisions legally, and I decided that I would just take a break from college, and I'd worked it all out with the Marine Corps recruiter. I could finish the semester. I had signed up for the reserves, so after boot camp and initial training, I could come back and finish college. Some people take gap years or study abroad for multiple semesters. It happens all the time, I told myself as I rehearsed the conversation with my parents. The complication in telling my parents, particularly my mom, was that in addition to the first-generation college graduate pressure, this was all unfolding in the fall of 1990. That summer, the country of Iraq, under its then dictator Saddam Hussein, had invaded its neighbor Kuwait, and the United States led a multinational coalition against this invasion and would eventually go to war to stop it. I had been following it in the news, but my 18-year-old self figured it was all just another Middle Eastern conflict that would play itself out. Well, the longer I waited to tell my parents, the more it played itself out. And finally, I couldn't put it off any longer. I had to tell them that I had signed up, taken an oath, accepted money for college, and there was no turning back. I was about to join the Marine Corps just as the U.S. was about to enter a war for the first time in 2 decades. So I did what any young person does in this situation. I decided I would divide and conquer. My dad was a Navy veteran. His dad was a veteran. 2 of my brothers had enlisted in the Navy. My mom was going to blame him anyway for this, I told him, so we might as well have this conversation together. And we did, and after many, "What are you thinking?" and "we are about to go to war" conversations, my mom came to accept it. And that first Persian Gulf War ended up being one of the shortest in our nation's history and was over by the time I finished my training. I went back to college, graduated, served out the rest of my time in the Marine Reserves, and for my mom's sake, all of this played out in the 1990s, which was a relatively stable time to be in the U.S. military. And that decision inevitably led me to meet a very influential person in my life. When I first checked into my Marine Reserve unit in Massachusetts, one of the people I met was the commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel William Deegan. I would only end up knowing him for a short time because he was also a reservist by this point, and his civilian job was as a U.S. Marshal. And it was in that job as a U.S. Marshal that he was tragically killed in 1992 in a firefight at Ruby Ridge, a government raid on a compound in Idaho that had been suspected of stockpiling illegal weapons. It was a devastating loss for his family, for our unit, and for all who knew him. That is the type of person and the type of leader that he was. My fondest memory of Lieutenant Colonel Deegan was that first time I met him upon reporting to the unit. It was a genuine conversation with a Marine Corps officer, something you don't have a lot of experience with up until that time. He took the time to get to know me, asked about my aspirations, and during that conversation, he could see that my eyes had transfixed on a sign on his desk which read, "When I want something done right, I give it to a busy person." So our conversation soon shifted to this quote, and he went on to explain how this philosophy guided his leadership style and all he did. He said it was backed by research that showed that busier people accomplish more and produce better results. And I can still remember his words to me that day. If you want success in life, whether in the Marine Corps or anything you do, be the busiest person you know. People will take notice. And that conversation no doubt stuck with me. Into my 20s, 30s, and 40s, being the busiest person I knew just became a habit. And as a leader, I'm sure I inherently follow the advice on Lieutenant Colonel Deegan's desk of giving something to a busy person when I want it done right. And suddenly I see this look of realization on the faces of all of the leadership team members in the Portsmouth School Department. And that philosophy can certainly pay off for you. But as much as I remember that day with Lieutenant Colonel Deegan and can recall our conversation, there is another saying that resonates with me just as much as I stand here today. And that is where we come back to my mom, 84 years young and still going strong. I hope I have paid my mom back for all of those heart palpitations in the 1990s. And if you talk to my mom for more than a few minutes, she will inevitably let you know that I am a doctor. I had to tell her to stop doing this in the retirement community where she currently lives. Whenever I would speak with my mom on a typical day in my 20s, 30s, or 40s, as that drive to be the busiest person I knew played out, our conversations would always end with her saying, "Tommy," I am still her baby, "Tommy, make sure you take some time to stop and smell the roses." And it got to the point where it became our little thing. I would finish the thought before she could even say it. And while certainly not the mindset of a decorated Marine Corps officer, now I can see just as much value in that sentiment. And so, graduates, my best advice to you tonight is there will be a time and place for both approaches. Throughout your life, particularly in the next few decades, there will be times when being the busiest person you know will hopefully pay off for you. But just make sure you take some time to stop and smell the roses along the way. Congratulations again. I wish you much success and happiness in all that you do, and always be true to yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kenworthy. At this time, I would like to welcome the 2025 Senior Class President, Oliver Jelly, to the stage to provide our welcome address.
Is this thing on? Welcome faculty, esteemed guests, friends, family, and the class of 2025. My name is Oliver Jelly, and it has been an absolute honor and pleasure to serve as your class president for these past 2 years. I would like to start by saying thank you to all of you for being an amazing class. I will cherish all the memories that we have made together. I would also like to thank Dr. Heath and the rest of the administrative team for creating a positive and caring atmosphere. And to Dr. Heath, I'm very glad that we stole you from Middletown. To the amazing teachers, thank you for always being by our sides. But most importantly, I would like to thank the wonderful Miss Monica Taft. You have been with us since we were middle schoolers and have led us these past 4 years as we planned fundraisers, junior and senior prom, and dealt with all of our craziness. Few truly understand how much you have done for our class. Miss Taft, if you would please stand as we give you a well-deserved round of applause. I remember walking into the building on freshman orientation day for the first time. We were still wearing our masks with a shared uncertainty of what was to come. And to be honest, I was also afraid of getting lost in the building. At that time, we all felt isolated. We had been separated, usually by 6 feet or a computer screen during the 7th and 8th grade. But along the way, with our shared experiences, we became a class, a community, a family. We shared Spirit Weeks together, celebrated championship wins together, and dodged falling ceiling tiles and water leaks together. As we gather tonight to celebrate this milestone in the next chapter of our lives, I would like to take a moment to reflect on the accomplishments and the memories that we have created as a class. Over the past 4 years, we have had many different championship winning teams. Boys hockey, girls lacrosse, girls soccer, golf, and the unified basketball team. These championship victories are more than just a win. They're a symbol of inclusivity and how great teams can bring people together. And we've had a number of athletic firsts this year. Girls volleyball reached the championship game. Boys volleyball did the same. Good luck tomorrow, by the way. Girls basketball reached the Final Four, and boys cross country made the New England championship race. For our talented art students, we've had many regional and national silver and gold key winners. Our drama club has put on successful shows year after year. Our band has played all over the country, including Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, and even Disney World. These two programs have managed to continue to be amazing, even without an auditorium to perform their talents in. We are ranked #1 in the state for NGSA science testing. We have national merit finalists, peers attending top-tiered colleges and universities, graduates becoming experts in various trades, and we have a number of our friends who are going on to serve our country in the many branches of the military. And also, nobody can forget our little slip and slide adventure we tried to do in the D-Wing, but we could not figure out how to shut our mouths. As we look back on all these achievements and shared memories, what stands out the most is how we have come together as a class. We may have a different road ahead of us, but we will always feel connected to this small town in the smallest state. Always remember the bonds we have formed here, keep in touch with one another, and do not hesitate to reach out to a familiar face. Thank you all so much for an amazing 4 years at this school. We are leaving today with a second family. And no, my middle name is not Peanut Butter, if anybody was wondering. Congratulations, class of 2025. We made it.
Thank you, Oliver. And thank you to the class of 2025. Well, we're here, the graduating class of 2025. After 13 years, 2,340 days, 16,380 hours, and 982,800 minutes, you finally made it to graduation. That wasn't that bad, was it? Well, as I say that, I can feel Mr. Rose in the front row over here crunching numbers in the faculty section, checking my math, but it's all good, Mr. Rose. I double-checked, I'm right. It might seem strange to the folks here tonight, but believe it or not, completing a K-12 education, while seemingly a foregone conclusion for most, is actually something of a rarity, a precious gift that shouldn't be accepted lightly. Take this into account. If you took the entire population of the world and compressed that group into only 100 people, and then you distributed the lived experiences of the entire world across those 100, barely half will have accomplished the level of education that you're celebrating today. When tonight's ceremony concludes, just about 2.5 hours from now, we got you, it won't be 2.5 hours. You will be leaving with your diploma, the tangible symbol that signifies your successful completion of a comprehensive 13-year academic experience. But despite the fact that you've collectively brought a wide range of personalities, dispositions, preferences, and unique characteristics to the table, what's interesting about your diploma is that it's the same as everyone else's. With the exception of displaying different names, your diplomas are designed to be identical. You won't find your class rank or your GPA printed on them. There's no letter grades listed or cumulative number of absences. You won't see the clubs you were in or how many times Mr. Maram or Ms. Zell called your house, which is actually a great thing, because for some of my people out there, if we did list those calls, your diploma would look more like a CVS receipt than a 6-by-inch certificate, and they don't make cases that size. So the diplomas look the same because they don't reflect how you did, but rather what you did over the course of your first 18 years on the planet. How truly awesome is that? Speaking of trips around the sun, this June marks the 23-year anniversary since I was sitting in your place at my own high school graduation. It seems like just yesterday, but I acknowledge that it wasn't. In fact, many of you probably don't know this, but I celebrated my 40th birthday this past school year. I was a little bit nervous to hit this milestone, but I have to be honest, I haven't really felt a difference just yet. Maybe the Cosmopolitan magazines in the checkout line at Market Basket are right, and 40 really is the new 30. If that's the case, I'm excited that I might have a few bonus years in me before I hit my midlife crisis, which is great because I definitely can't afford a drop-top Porsche right now, and I'm not quite ready for my first earring. Also, shout out to Leo DiCaprio for all the hard work he's done to promote dad bods over the past few years, because I'm hearing those are all the rage, and I'm considering that one a win as well. I don't know if this happens to all people when they hit 40, but I know right after my birthday I did start Googling searches on how to gauge this whole life thing and how it was going, and initially I was pleasantly surprised. I saw Alan Rickman, the Professor Snape. He didn't land his first serious acting role until he was 42. Henry Ford didn't create the Model T until he was 45, and Barack Obama wasn't elected to be president until he was 47. Then I saw Billie Eilish had already received 10 Grammys, and she's 23. Celtics superstar NBA champion Jason Tatum just turned 27, and pop culture icon Taylor Swift is 35, so needless to say, that shot me down a few pegs, and I closed my laptop. Regardless of where I fall in the continuum of life success, there's no denying that the professional arena is going well for me. I mean, I'm the principal at one of the most remarkable, high-achieving high schools in the entire United States, and that's got to account for something, right? So without further ado, here are 3 suggestions that this high school principal has learned throughout my time that will hopefully be of some value to you as you begin your odyssey. Just about 17 and a half years ago, on a cold Tuesday night, I went out with some friends and proceeded to have the luckiest night of my life. If you know me, you know that I'm not much of a drinker, and I never particularly like going out to bars. In truth, as a purebred introvert, I really don't go out anywhere, but I'm working on that. So back to my story. On this particular night, my friends twisted my arm to go out to a local bar. And as we prepared to head out, I threw on the go-to attire of the young Southeastern Rhode Island male, which, believe it or not, really hasn't changed in the last 20 years. My best pair of gray sweatpants, semi-clean hoodie, socks, and some sandals, and we hit the town. We got to the spot, and I posted up on a stool by the window, to put out the vibe. And I don't know if it was the sweatpants or the scowl, but no one was showing interest. About 30 minutes after we got there, the place began to fill up with people, and I mean fast. So, in fact, so fast that within a few minutes, it got to the point where I couldn't even get up out of the chair. Right about then, a girl with a navy blue and white dress started talking to me. She kept asking me questions about school and my friends. She asked me about teaching and sports, and if I dressed like a migrant street bum all the time or just on Tuesdays. And at that moment, I remember actually being kind of offended because those were my go-to dress sweatpants. She was told babe, but truthfully I wasn't interested. First, she was clearly out of my league, and second, her boyfriend was probably 10 feet away getting ready to pound me for talking to his girlfriend. I'd seen her type before, and boyfriend all over it. But lucky for me, the lights in the establishment were particularly dark, so score 1 point for me. And second, I guessed wrong. She didn't have a boyfriend. And better yet, I had unintentionally been playing hard to get for the last 45 minutes. And now you guessed it, the guy who literally has less game than Luka Doncic on the defensive end got the girl. Flash forward, and here we are today. I've been married for 11 years, and it feels like nothing has ever changed, and everything's changed all at the same time. She's still right on my league, as evidenced by all of you that have said with an air of confusion, hey, Dr. Heath, I met your wife. She's actually really pretty. Yeah, I catch the tone. I hear you, right? Still 8 bars, and I still dress like a bum when I'm off duty. And she still asks me nonstop questions. And while I understand that every day in the garden of marital bliss can't be a great day, I am grateful that every day my friends drag me to that dive bar and I found my person. So suggestion number 1, in your own lives, give love a chance. My next story happened when I was in high school. I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a professional athlete. My goal was to play football in the NFL, so I trained hard every day. I got up early each morning to go on runs. I ate all the right foods, and I caught 2,000 passes a day before school. And it all paid off, because most people don't know this, but in the 2006 NFL Draft, I was actually selected as the 71st overall pick by the Houston Texans. That never happened, sorry. That never, ever happened. But some of that narrative is true. The first part is true, a little bit. Like many teenage boys, I did want to be a professional athlete, but as I get older, I quickly realized that was more of a pipe dream than a reality. After considering my options, I landed on wanting to be a gym teacher. It was a great compromise for me. I've already shared my love of sweatpants, and I'm also into sports, so it seemed like the perfect fit. In addition to the perks, I was also fortunate to have some truly exceptional physical education teachers and coaches as role models that made me really think about how I could leave a lasting impression on others through sport and education. Shout out to Principal McKinnon from Wilbur McMahon. He was one of those people. As I got slightly older, my goals shifted, and I ultimately decided that my dream job was to become a college professor. The idea of high-level academic conversations, beautiful facilities, and deep-rooted tradition were more than intriguing. They were intoxicating. I had zero interest in becoming a school principal. Long hours, suits and ties, difficult conversations, those things just weren't for me. Growing up, my dad always called those types of people who did those jobs stuffed shirts. And I never really knew what that meant, but I knew by the way he said the phrase that I never wanted to be a stuffed shirt. Flash forward once again, and after several years of studying, networking, coupled with some good old-fashioned stalking, in 2018 I was able to land a professor position at Rhode Island College. As expected, I loved the high-level conversations and the pristine facilities and the deep-rooted traditions, but what I didn't expect is how much I missed the Cat through 12 learning environment. I missed the people, I missed the collegiality, and most importantly, I missed high school students. It's funny that the job I always thought would be my end game turned out to be just another stepping stone en route to where I needed to be. I stand here at the podium today, and this really doesn't feel like work to me. I love this job. I love having the opportunity to make an impact on the people's lives that I meet with every day. I love exploration and uncertainty, and I even love school lunch, at least on the day they have popcorn chicken bar. But what I love most of all is having the opportunity to do good work. Not good in the sense of accomplishment, but good in the sense of making the world a better place. Patriots, if I can give you one career-related information tidbit, it would be this. It doesn't matter where life takes you or what journey awaits you, my second suggestion is dedicate yourselves to doing good work. Finally, as is the case with most of us, I've been blessed to have some really awesome things happen in my life. But without a doubt, the best thing that's ever happened to me was becoming a dad. People always talk about moments in life where time quite literally stands still. And when my man Jaden was born and later my daughter Olivia, I finally understood exactly what people were talking about. Now they're 6 and 8, and I spend a lot of time playing soccer and watching Gabby's Dollhouse. Jaden's favorite pastime is quizzing me on the different species of penguins or cheating at pretty much any board game that we play. But these two rock stars motivate me to be a better person. Conversely, I'm not proud to say that my kids have also seen me at my worst. On days, for whatever reason, I feel frustrated, irritable, or worst of all, inadequate. On these days, I could be emotionally inaccessible, distant, and withdrawn. These days don't happen often, but when they do, it's easy to see the negative impact that they have on the people that I love most. While there have been innumerable life lessons that I've learned as a result of being a parent, perhaps the most important is my third and final suggestion. People are watching, so always put forward the best versions of yourself. Patriots, your future is bright, and I know that I'm not alone when I say that I can't wait to follow along with your amazing accomplishments. While life doesn't come with any guarantees, I can promise you this. If you give love a chance, dedicate yourself to doing good work, and always do your best and put your best version of yourself forward, happiness and success will inevitably find your door. I wish each and every one of you the best in your future endeavors, and congratulations on a job well done. At this time, I would like to invite your Senior Class Vice President, Charles Cord, to the podium to introduce this year's guest speaker.
Ooh, that's a lot of people. Good evening, and welcome everyone. First, I would like to say to my fellow classmates, congratulations. We really have had a great 4 years. Of course, I could go on for hours about all the memories we made, but I should abide by tonight's schedule. This evening, our guest speaker is an amazing woman who lives and breathes classic literature. During my sophomore year, I had the privilege to make the trek to A11 every even day. Or was it a B day? Or an all day? And each day I spent inside that classroom was a day I felt inspired. Inspired to take charge, inspired to help empower others, and inspired to pursue my dreams and aspirations to the utmost extent. When I reminisce about English 10 honors, one unit especially comes to mind, when we talked about the famous phrase, carpe diem, and its meaning. For those of you who do not know, the Latin phrase literally translates to pluck the day. It was used by the Roman poet Horace to express the idea that we should enjoy life while we can, seize the day. This lesson, this discussion, stuck with me more than any math lesson or historical fun fact. Sorry. To me, one of the most beautiful things about literature is that it contains truths and wisdom that can and will carry you through life. These important messages are what made A11 a beacon of inspiration and hope. My twin brother Casey always tells me, and I am far too often reminded, that the most valuable life lessons are learned the hard way. However, the wisdom taught in A11 was easy to grasp. Not because the material was superficial, but because the teacher skillfully conveyed complex life lessons in a simple and relatable way. As a result,
Those lessons have stayed with me and will continue to stay with me long after my time in her classroom and here at Portsmouth High School. In the great words of renowned author William Ward, the mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the better teacher demonstrates, and the great teacher inspires. And she has done nothing but inspire. She inspired her students to use their voice, inspired us to stand up for what is right and never back down in the face of adversity. And most importantly, she inspired us to be the best students and the best people that we can be. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce your guest speaker, the wonderful Mrs. Mary Kay O'Keefe.
Thank you. Thank you all, distinguished guests and our faculty. Thank you. Thank you for this great honor to stand before you tonight. To the parents, guardians, and grandparents, I want to thank you for the wonderful children you have raised. I feel blessed to have taught your children and past generations of Portsmouth High School students. My time here has taught me that PHS students are interested, aware, funny, and serious, and always kind. In fact, one of those kind PHS students, back when he was 16 years old, offered to carry my book bag as I was wobbling down the hall, pregnant with my first child. 32 years later, that student's lovely daughter graduates tonight with the wonderful class of 2025. Life is certainly a circle, and it certainly takes its twists and turns. I had never once thought of teaching as a career. Just out of college, I entered a commercial lending program, and I fancied myself a banker. I found this world fascinating, this new world of numbers. But as time went on, I began to realize I was a little different from the other analysts. No one had famous literary characters as passwords, and there were just so many signs that maybe I belonged somewhere else. But I dismissed them. Do not do this. Please read those signs. They are guideposts for you. They say, no, come this way. Thankfully, I was given a sign I could not miss. One day, I was running late for work, so I grabbed all my suits and dropped them off at the local dry cleaners. The very next day, my coworker greeted me and said, "Hey, Mary Kate, did you hear about the fire?" And I said, "No, I hadn't." "Yeah, dry cleaners, down the street, burnt to the ground." And I said, but my entire wardrobe is in that dry cleaners. And she said, "Not anymore, Mary Kate." I finally took the sign that I was to be somewhere else, and a few days later, I applied to graduate school to become an English teacher. Please read those signs. Take a leap of faith, and you will find your place. Since 1990, I have had the joy of books and you. 41 novels and nearly 4,000 students, and I would not trade a day of it for anything, especially when your humor caught me off guard. The first time I taught The Great Gatsby, I should review. Gatsby has a desperate desire to recreate the past when he first fell in love with Daisy. So when they meet 5 years later, Gatsby accidentally knocks a clock off the mantle, and I explain that Gatsby catching the clock and putting it back symbolizes his desire to defy time. When suddenly a book goes flying across the room and the kid in the front row says, "That symbolizes I don't like the book." So many days were like that, where I just thought, oh my gosh, this is magic. Standing here tonight, I feel a little like Gatsby, trembling and trying to hold on to what was. But this is your night to be joyful, your commencement. So much lies ahead of you because so much work is behind you. Although this may sound like one last English class, because my theme tonight is based on the book that your classmates gave me, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. When they asked me to speak tonight, they gave me that, and I suddenly knew what to say. It was another sign. You see, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn was my mother's favorite novel, and it really is her story. The main character, Francie Nolan, is very, very poor, and her father suffers from alcoholism. And this was my mother's reality. But also, just like Francie, my mother loved to read and knew an education would save her. Both Francie Nolan and my mother persevered under difficult circumstances. At the age of 17, my mom lived alone in a rented room above a shoe store. But despite that adversity, she still graduated at the top of her high school class and was awarded a 4-year scholarship to Manhattanville College. Her dream had come true. But then, in November of her freshman year, her father passed away suddenly, and without hesitation, my mother packed up her dream and left to take care of her own mother. Life is going to be hard sometimes. It will have unexpected twists and turns and events that seem insurmountable. But know that you can make it if you work hard, make sacrifices, and hold on to your dreams. You will be okay. Eventually, my mom married her high school sweetheart, my dad, and together they made sure all 6 of her children would have her dream of a college education. After watching all 6 of her children, including the favorite, graduate from college, my mother returned to Manhattanville College. And in 1996, at the age of 58, my mother graduated summa cum laude. Remember my mother's story. Don't give up. Have faith that you can do what you set out to do. It may take longer than expected, but you will be okay. And remember, both my mother and Francie Nolan believed in the power of reading. Francie's grandmother wisely tells her daughter that Francie must read every day. I know this is the secret. Yes, she's right. Reading is the secret. It takes you somewhere new and never stops teaching you. Read for enjoyment. Read to escape. Go to another world and visit faraway places. See something you may never see in life. Visit with people you will never meet. Listen to a conversation you will never hear. Or read to find the beauty in you in the beauty of words. Perhaps a few words from William Faulkner's short story, The Bear, about a father and son, illustrates this idea. He writes, his father was watching him across the spring-rife twilight of the room. When he spoke, his words were as quiet as the twilight too, not loud, because they did not need to be, because they would last. Courage and honor and pride, his father said, and love of justice and of liberty. They all touch the heart, and what the heart holds on to becomes truth. I'd like to think his beautiful words reflect who you are. Or Maybe revisit a story from your junior year. Remember Nathaniel Hawthorne's Young Goodman Brown? Recall, Brown dies alone and miserable because he refuses to see another perspective. Hawthorne makes clear that there is no such thing as black and white. He urges us to find the middle ground. He urges us to come to the table, reach across, and maybe, just maybe, we find we are more alike than we think. This is why we read. Read your history and be humbled by those who have gone before you. Perhaps read Stephen Ambrose's Band of Brothers and read about those who fought so bravely 81 years ago today on the shores of Normandy. And when you do, you honor their selfless sacrifices. Or maybe try reading a classic, which I promise always has something to say about our world. Although John Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath takes us back to the 1930s and the struggle of the Joad family as migrant workers, their survival speaks to us today. In fact, Steinbeck interrupts his narrative to tell you and me, this you may say of man. Man reaches, stumbles forward, painfully, mistakenly sometimes. Having reached forward, he may slip back, but only half a step, never the full step back. This you may say and know it. To me, Steinbeck says, no matter how hard this world can be, it's going to be okay. Hope is what you might find when you read. Read anything that makes you grow or think or feel. I remember finding one of my students standing with her forehead against the top locker and staring down. And I asked her, what's wrong? And she said, I just finished House of Mirth. Selden was too late. That student was almost in tears because in that novel, the main character, Lily Bart, dies before Selden reaches her. That student felt the tragedy of mistiming, the tragedy of death too soon, the tragedy of unspoken words. We read because we can connect as human beings. We read to find the beauty within ourselves and within each other. So please read. And someday, please read to a child. Again, Francie's grandmother in A Tree Grows in Brooklyn wisely says, the child must have a beautiful thing which is called imagination. The child must have a secret world in which things live that never were. This is why you must read to children. Give them somewhere new. Give them a secret world. Give them imagination. Read to young family members. Volunteer at the local library. Read to those who need you. And someday, if you become parents or guardians, read to your own children. I know you can do this. I have already seen what you do for others. Your many acts of kindness, both seen and unseen, are moments of grace. They give an unexpected pause, a feeling of hope, a feeling that there is something much greater out there. And to me, it says it's going to be okay. And the world is going to be okay because you are entering it. Take the beauty that is in each of you into this world, and I think we will all be okay because of you. Congratulations, class of 2025, and thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. O'Keefe. At this time, I would like to invite the senior members of our PHS Symphonic Band to join your bandmates one last time to perform Stars and Stripes Forever under the direction of Mr. Ted Rausch.
Are you good? Seniors still looking around.
Next, I would like to welcome our senior class treasurer, Alex Lopes, to the podium to present this year's senior class gift.
Thank you. Good evening, friends, family, faculty, and fellow 2025 graduates. My name is Alex Lopes. It's been my honor to serve as your class treasurer over the past 4 years. Tonight, I would like to start off by acknowledging the gracious support from all of you throughout our time at Portsmouth High School. We've been able to host numerous successful fundraisers and events due to the incredible generosity of local businesses, community members, parents, and our very own students. We, as the class of 2025, want to thank you for providing us with the resources to help us accomplish our goals. When we entered high school as freshmen, coming off the heels of COVID-19, we faced the challenge of establishing who we wanted to be. We all come from different walks of life, yet, in spite of our differences, we've been brought together by one thing, a sense of community unique to Portsmouth. Whether it was a sport, a club, a group of friends, we all started to establish our identity, our place, our community. These moments with our peers, bonding and goofing off, will last far longer than any academic or extracurricular struggles we faced. Our senior year became about appreciating these experiences together. As a result, we want to give future classes the opportunity to do the same. This is why we'll be making the donation of 6 new picnic tables to the courtyard, aiming to expand the senior tradition of eating together outside. These tables will represent not only the sturdy, stable spirit our class is built upon, but also act as a catalyst to bring our school community closer together. Additionally, to honor and remember a classmate who was tragically taken from us our junior year, a memorial plaque will be affixed to one of the tables for Owen Cameron. Owen, you are missed, and we wish you could be here to experience this moment with us. Please join me in a brief moment of silence. Finally, as a way to pay back the generosity shown to us, any remaining funds will be donated to the incoming class of 2029. Once again, I want to thank everyone here for making this experience possible for all of us. Thank you to my classmates for an incredible 4 years, and congratulations to the class of 2025.
Thank you, Alex. Portsmouth High School has established a long-standing tradition of choosing 2 graduating seniors to address us at today's ceremony. The first speaker is chosen by the class. Students are asked to select a peer who they feel best represents the spirit of the class. Please join me in welcoming this year's student-selected speaker, Margot Banu, to the stage.
Everyone. My name is Margot Bonu, and it is my honor to be here tonight. Thank you to the class of 2025 for selecting me as a student speaker for such a special occasion. This moment means the world to me, and I would like to thank those who got me here today. My dad, sister Grace, brother Henry, and of course, my mom. 4 years ago, I walked into high school carrying a backpack filled with anxiety. And now I walk out with a little bit of ease because I've learned to worry less and live more in the moment. Oftentimes, we find ourselves dwelling on the past when it has come and gone, or worrying about the future when it has yet to present itself. While there's always times to look back and laugh at happy memories, or to create dreams to aim at our future goals, it is crucial to understand that every minute that passes is a moment that you can never get back. Through the easy times and the hard, memories are made, lessons are learned, and relationships are built by taking in what is happening around you. If you think about the greatest movie of all time, yup, you guessed it, Kung Fu Panda, you may remember the late great master Oogway, who taught us the saying, Yesterday
is history. Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it is called a present.
Right? As you might recall, Poe learned to cherish every second that he has. He tries to make the world a better place, all while doing what he loves. Looking back over the 4 years, I'm sure we all remember, it's hard to get out of bed at 7 a.m. I'm sure so many of us dreaded the school day. There's so much to think about. Lots of thoughts and emotions were running through our head. Did I study enough? Did I finish all my homework? When is this class going to end? Now, standing here today and being done with high school, I thought to myself, maybe it was not so bad. Maybe waking up early, sitting in class with friends, or the car rotting was actually fun. Now I see I should have lived in the moment. Knowing this, I tell myself and you all tonight to be sure to seize the days ahead. Be present and be persistent about living in the moment. Persistence is another key trait that we need to have in the coming chapters of our lives. Whether you're going into the workforce, attending higher education, or even taking time to figure out exactly what comes next, persistence is what is going to make you stand out and surpass even your own expectations. Give every day everything you've got. In a world that is ever-changing and constantly moving, we often take the ones that we love for granted. After you walk this stage and move that tassel from right to left, do not forget to let the ones that support you along the way know how much you appreciate them. For some of you, those people are here today. For others, they may not be in attendance, but will always be in your hearts. Maintaining and continuing to build strong bonds with people and family that you love means that you will always have someone with you, even when you feel alone. Not only cherish the moment, but cherish your friends. Our friends are the ones who shared their snacks at lunch, their notes from class, and even occasionally their homework. Don't worry, we won't say names. Friends will be the ones who are there for you when you're having a bad day, and they're the ones who share those moments when you're laughing at something so hard you cannot even remember why you started laughing in the first place. Friends always have our back, so cherish them. Years from now, when you look back at high school, you will not remember the tests you took or the countless hours you spent on homework. Instead, you will remember the memories that you made here at Portsmouth High School. As we come to the final moments of our high school career, it is important to face things that are outside of your comfort zone head-on. Know that the moment that you're living in is a gift. Following through and being persistent will make you achieve even your wildest goals. You have to hold on to the ones you hold dear, and friends will make even the worst times great. Again, I cannot express how honored I am that I got to speak to you all tonight. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2025. We did it.
Thank you, Margot. And now for our second student speaker. As selected by the faculty, this student is selected based on their unwavering dedication to the qualities of scholarship, integrity, and commitment to excellence. At this time, please join me in welcoming Elena Sun to the stage.
Good evening, faculty, school committee members, family, friends, and most importantly, my peers in the class of 2025. My name is Elena Sun, and it is truly an honor to be here tonight and to celebrate how far we have come and grown. Senior year alone has been a series of journeys. Think of it like Portsmouth roads, winding, bumpy, and filled with a never-ending supply of surprise potholes. Though some might argue they did not go by fast enough, many of us can say that these past 4 years have gone by in the blink of an eye. I'm thrilled to see what the future holds, for it is truly remarkable what we have already accomplished. And we would not be here today without the tireless support of our teachers and the people around us. With their guidance, we have managed to fight through and survive not only the challenges of high school, but also the challenges that life poses constantly. Yet, The greatest motivator has always been and will always be our own innate strength and relentless perseverance. In other words, our conviction, our unwavering beliefs in ourselves, our visions, and our abilities to make a difference. You see, we're not graduating here today with simply a diploma. We are graduating with countless stories. Funny stories, dramatic ones, sad ones. Stories that have been shaped by successes, failures, friendships, losses, and every single moment that has led us to this one. And as we step into a future of unknowns, we have to ask ourselves, what will our next stories be, and what is the legacy that we want to leave behind? Now, I recognize the fear that comes with being vulnerable. It can be terrifying to speak your truth, expose the parts of yourself that society has already deemed to be messy, unfinished, or imperfect. But that is where the power lies. Because every story is like a tapestry that is constantly being woven and unwoven as we evolve. And oftentimes, the most powerful, most profound stories are the ones we endlessly revise and reflect upon. The novel of your life will likely not be perfect either. Finding your own way does not mean you will not get lost sometimes, because the journey to discovering your path is rarely ever a straight road. But that is what makes it yours and yours alone. The missteps, victories, moments of doubt, and bursts of joy, they all play key roles in bringing your story to life. Embrace the falls, the leaps, and everything in between that makes you who you are. So, own it. It is easy to be swept away in the predefined ideas of success that society attempts to prescribe to us, like having a certain checklist of accomplishments, a certain career, or a certain lifestyle. Yet, none of these are universal, because what matters most is not what others tell you to do, but what you choose to do. The moment we allow someone else to grab the pen and write our stories for us marks the moment that we lose our autonomy, our agency, and all the nuances that inherently make our stories ours. When we tell our stories, whether to ourselves or others, we claim ownership of our lives and give voice to the parts of ourselves that might otherwise be forgotten. We show the world that there is power in honesty, in listening, and in embracing our shortcomings. Today, I ask each of you to look around. We are all writing stories at this very moment as we join together as a collective, be it silent or spoken. So remember that we all have a story worth sharing, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem. Because we are one class, one school, one community, one family. And at each of our cores, we all have the ability to make change and continue writing. Class of 2025, I encourage all of you to be bold, to be compassionate, and to listen with open ears and open hearts. Do not assume that once you close out a chapter, you can never go back. All of us are authors, and our pasts, our presents, our futures are everlasting, lifelong commitments. Life is going to challenge us. Others are going to test us. But we are ultimately in control of our pens, our narratives, our bestsellers. And those are the stories that I would love to read in the future. So thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2025.
Thank you, Elena. And now I would like to invite the members of the chorus to join their fellow classmates to perform Here Comes the Sun under the direction of Mrs. Shauna Gleason.
Here
Thank you, Mrs. Gleason, and members of the chorus. The moment we've all been waiting for has finally arrived, the presentation of diplomas. In the spirit of keeping things flowing and orderly, prior to awarding the diplomas, we'd like to provide some stage direction. As a gift to each graduate, we've arranged for professional photographers to take photos of each student. The first photo will be a candid shot as our graduates receive their diploma, and the second will be a posed photo just off to stage right in front of the Portsmouth. There was no Portsmouth backdrop today, so it's right there off the stage right. Thank you. Because these photos are being taken, we kindly ask guests to remain behind the graduates, dividing the family section and graduates today during this portion of the ceremony. Additionally, we want to ensure that each student is recognized for their achievements, so please hold your applause until the final diploma has been awarded to the class president. And lastly, once all diplomas have been received, our graduates will be recessing out of the venue, so please be sure to keep this center aisle clean. At this time, I'd like to invite our senior class advisor, Ms. Monica Taft, to the stage to assist with the distribution of diplomas. Dr. Copeland and Dr. Kenworthy, it is my distinct pleasure to present the Portsmouth High School graduating class of 2025 for the awarding of their diplomas. Mila Ryan Abaddon. Aiden M. Abraham. Adriana Acosta Ariana. Mark Alcolea Vila. Addison Ann Alicio. William John Alves. Maya Antis. Noel Armenanzas. Ethan Arsenal. Aaron August. Cassandra Bailey. Annabella Barber. Ava Grace Berard. Kyle Balawa. Emily Claire Babola. Evan Bongiovanni. Braden Lee Bonoff. Matthew Borgetta. Isabella Basha. Tyler Joseph Both. Kimberly Bransfield. Jocelyn Louise Brennan. Logan A. Bruno. Henry Burkroff. Leo Burnham. Kevin Buss. Tyler Butler. Jonathan Joseph Cabral. John Henrique Catano. Thomas Calhoun. Olivia Capwell. Gavin Jean Carpenter. Haley Case. Taylor Alexander Castorgini. Cole Allen Seller. Nathan Richard Chartier. Aiden Chen. Sean Collins. Tristan J. Canini. Kimberly Cook. Casey Cord. Alexander John Cornell. Abigail Costa. Michael Costa. Alexandra Nicole Cusino. Christopher David Cox. Kai Daffron Viu. Sydney Daigle. Addison Banu Dalton. Kira Eve Daly. Madeline De Silva. Avery Rose Duvall. Lilybell D'Souza. Gabriel Dos Reis. Nicholas Dos Reis. Riley Dubé. Brendan Parker Elias. Peyton Farney. John Paul Faria. Paulina Fasolco. Avery Ferreira. Dylan James Thesmeyer. Tara Grace Finnegan. Andrew Forch. Chloe Olivia Frost. Chloe Fulton. Lily Geyser Borges. Justin Adam Gambrell. Lucas Gaudet. Owen Gervelis. Ella Charlotte Gilpin. Aiden T. Gleason. Alexander Goss. Emmett Greenwood. Mia Eva Griego. Zoe Bracken Hadley. Kaylee Haggerty. Grant Harkin. Antonia Hatzis. Corbin Hayes. James P. Hecht. Siobhan Ailish Hoffman. Delilah P. Dylan Lee Hong. Cameron Elizabeth Hoos. Abraham Desmond Hughes. Gabriel Hugenem. Molly Hurd. Thomas Hurd. Dylan Jacobs. Philip Johnston. Alexandra Tennant Call. Bailey Keplinger. Emily Karinsky. Trevor T. Kessler Scanlon. William Kitzmiller. Haley E. Labonte. Brody Lambert. Hope Ann Levesque. Emma R. Levine. Kane Lewis. Franna May Long. Jack Loper. Tyler James Lord. Riley Lucier. Savannah Catherine McGrath. Robert Mayers. Aiden Mason. Caitlin Marion. Jonathan Marrow. Jack A. Marston. Ryan Martin. Hadley Grace Massa. Kieran Mateos. Mason McCann. Daphne Elizabeth Malloy. Kyle McGinley. Maliana McGuire. Caden McHale. David Merced. William Harrison Miller. Kimani J. Montague. Chase Mullins. Connor Mulvey. Ashley Susan Murphy. Fabio Mushanisi. Max Krian Nimirovsky. Olivia Jean O'Connor. Seth D. Ohop. Samuel Ornstein. Damon D. Owen. Micah Pelletier. Olivia Rose Phillips. Laramie Platt. Jeremy A. Ponce. Lila Jeanette Potts. Jeffrey Michael Poyer. Avery Prenticeau. Logan Pridgeon Benet. Cyrus Pryor. Kat Procopio. Noah Quay. Casey Quinn. Mary Rainey. Mary Elise Natalia Ramos. Stephen Robert Ramponi. Jalen Rain Rancourt. Mia Elizabeth Randazzo. Cole Rocco. Cameron Ruggieri. Bryn Brielle Santucci. Trent Senor. Evelyn Grace Schuster. Kelsey Smith. Rowan Snyder. Jessica L. Souza. Sonia Violet Starschik. Nicholas Svenstrup. Luke Sweeney. Mache Antoni Tabak. Shane Anthony Temple. Aaliyah Giselle Teresa Turner. Sophia Turner. Christian S. Vashon. Thor L. Walsh. Avery Hope Warren. Benjamin DeBrino West. Vivian Rose White. Ellie K. Whittington. Sean Wilkie. Ayla Williams. Heather Williams. Connor Witteveen. Wyatt Zani. Jason Zhang. Margot Bonu. Yilin Sun. Caitlin Donna Mediate. Alexander Edward Lopes. Charles Spencer Cord. And Oliver David Charles Jelly. At this time, I would invite all members of the class of 2025 to collectively rise one final time. Oliver, could you please do the honors? Please join me in congratulating the Portsmouth High School graduating class of 2025. Mr. Roush, please cue the music.